Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aldo Adrian Alamtra, and I'm from class Manufacture MSU. I want to presentation about my assignment. This presentation is to analyze the leadership styles of Steve Jobs. We know the Steve Jobs is owner of Apple. So first, I want to present about his biography and my personal event. He was born on February 24, 1955 and adopted by Paul and Clara Jobs. Worked with HP for summer internship after high school. Dropped out of college after the very first semester. In 1976, start the company Apple Computers with Steve Wozniak. Apple 1, 2, 3 all were successful. And then in years 1984, conceptualized and introduced the revolutionary Macintosh the market. And then the next year was forced to resign by the board of directors of Apple Computers. And the next year found Next Computer and co-founded Pixar Animation Studio and thereby revolutionized the movie industry. And in 1997, Next was sold to Apple and Jobs became the CEO of Apple Inc. And then in 2001, introduced the iPod and thereby revolutionized the music industry. Then in 2007, introduced 3G iPhone, first of its kind in the market and thereby revolutionized the cell phone market. Nah, jadi di sini adalah biografi dari Steve Jobs dan awal mula dia memulai karirnya itu. Bisa dilihat dari data-data ini bahwa dia ini adalah seorang yang konsisten dan inovator. Karena bisa kita lihat di sini di tahun-tahun terutama di tahun 2001 sampai 2007 dia sudah menguasai pasar untuk telepon genggam atau telepon seluler. Okay, next, personality traits. First is impatient. Right from the childhood, Jobs was very impatient and believed in experimentation. He always felt that he had a short time to live and had to accomplish a lot of things in that period. And visionary. Right from his early days of building blue box wheel in school, he wanted to create a dent in the universe and impact the life of the whole world. He was indeed successful in that latter and he transformed the computer industry, the movie industry, the music industry, and then the cell phone industry. So, jadi Steve Jobs ini dia memiliki karakteristik yang tidak sabaran karena dia ini merasa bahwa dia tidak memiliki waktu yang banyak untuk hidup dan dia ingin menyelesaikan semuanya, dan juga dia adalah orang yang visioner. Dia memiliki rencana-rencana yang matang untuk kedepannya, seperti di sini dia ingin sukses nanti di dunia komputer, di dunia perfilman, musik dan lain-lain, terutama di dunia telepon genggam. And the dreamer, he had a dream to make computer a personalized product which everyone in the world. And then artist, he possessed a great ear for theatric. Any new product launch would always happen in a magnificently trick way in which Jobs would suddenly appear and do something that would make the crowd go berserk. Innovator. Right from the childhood days, Jobs was very much creative, innovative, and keep experimenting with electronics. He made this experiment fun even for people around him. Nah, jadi di sini ada beberapa karakteristiknya yang lainnya. Yang pertama, dia ini adalah dreamer, dia mimpi, dia memiliki mimpi yang tinggi, dan juga dia adalah seorang yang sangat sangat yang artis atau antusias, dan juga dia adalah seorang yang inovator. Dia ingin mencoba sesuatu yang baru dan menciptakan hal-hal yang baru. Ini tentunya sangat penting untuk dimiliki oleh seseorang yang memiliki sebuah usaha ya. And then the next personality is passionate and enthusiastic. Steve Jobs always micromanaged things, never leaving control. His passion and enthusiasm were direct motivator for everyone around him. Powerful. He had amazing ways with people. He believed in create a reality distortion field around him. A lot of his colleagues have confirmed that things which were impossible otherwise were possible with Jobs around. He made everything seem so easy and simple. So, he- Steve Jobs is passionate and enthusiast. Jadi dia ini adalah orang yang sangat antusias, dia memiliki antusias yang tinggi, dan juga dia memberikan energi positif untuk teman-teman, untuk lingkungan di sekitarnya, untuk memotivasi yang di sekitarnya, dan juga dia adalah orang yang tidak mudah menyerah ya. Karena bisa dilihat dari sini berdasarkan pengalaman-pengalaman dia bahwa banyak sekali cobaan-cobaan yang dialami. Oke, next bipolarity. For jobs, there were only two kinds of things and people, either the worst or the best. No third dimension existed for him. He would reprimand people claiming the product they presented as shit if there was even a minor scope of improvement left in it. And then focus and determination. He was focused in whatever he did. He would be working for days together without even worrying about self-cleaning. He would be restless till he achieved what he planned. A desire and yearning for the best. Jobs always want nothing but the best. He was not someone who would compromise even with one small carpet lying untidy in the office or home. He would rather not buy furniture for his home than to compromise by getting mediocre furniture. He also had a very good eye for detailing and designing. So, in this personality, we can conclude if Job is the people who has a high consistent. Jadi dia ini adalah orang yang sangat konsisten dan juga dia fokus dan sangat terencana pada tujuan dia, pada cita-cita dia, dan juga dia ini memiliki keyakinan yang tinggi bahwa usaha dia ini tidak akan pernah. Jadi bisa dibilang sangat memotivasi untuk kita semua. And then the next is control. Jobs was a control freak. He needed to have everything based around him. He could not tolerate mediocre people and mediocre product. If he organized a party, he would design its drink and the food menus also perfectly. He would want a completely dirt-free production house and controlled in a subtle way the working of everyone else around him. Loss of control. Josh had internal loss of control. He was self-motivated and self-driven. He always believed that his personal action would dictate the outcomes. Lack of emotional aspect. Jobs lacked empathy toward his employees and hence came across a rude person to a lot of people. He was emotional in his own life and had down his real parents also in the later years, but he never let this emotion overpower his work and business. So about three personality, we can conclude Steve Jobs is a person who has a high professional because he can uh, manage herself in home, in work, and then uh, he can do it with himself. Jadi dia bisa, jadi dia ini adalah orang yang profesional dan juga dia ini memiliki apa namanya dia mampu mengendalikan emosi dia, entah itu ketika di pekerjaan atau di bisnis dia, sehingga kedua di antaranya ini dia mampu memposisikan dirinya dengan baik. Okay, the next is the big five model of personality dimension. First is extroversion. Jobs was an extrovert. He would say anything he wished to anyone at any time. However, he was generally not much sociable. And then agreeableness. Job was never agreeable. He would not agree with your ways if they don't match with his. Rather, he would just have you to agree with his ideas by his smart and charismatic ways. Conscientious. Jobs was responsible and dependable at times, but then sometimes he was completely unreasonable and wanted to do something only because it would thrill him. Jadi dia ini adalah seorang yang miliki apa namanya rasa ingin tahu yang tinggi. Dia selalu mencari tahu tentang untuk pencapaian dia sendiri. Oh, jadi ini adalah eh, model model personality. And then emotional stability. Jobs was never emotionally involved while at work, and that made him emotionally stable. He was always self-confident and positive about things and approach. Openness and to experience. Jobs was always curious and had an artist within him which led him to change the whole arts and entertainment industry. His openness to experience also took him to India for soul searching where he realized his dream. Nah, jadi dia ini memiliki dia mampu mengontrol emosi dia karena dia tahu bahwa emosi ini sangat berpengaruh pada lingkup bisnis dia dan juga dia ini open minded ya. Jadi maksudnya eh, learning by doing. Jadi dia belajar dari apa yang sudah dia lakukan. So we can next to the next slide in about leadership style analyze. Direct leadership. Steve Jobs was more of a direct leader who himself had control and influence over all the employees. Even for the outside world, Jobs was the only face of Apple. Autocratic. His issue for control resulted in an autocratic way of decision making most of the time. He had a flat and centralized organizational structure whenever he was involved in the game. Nah, jadi bisa kita lihat ini apa beberapa poin yang sudah kita analisis, poin leadership dari Steve Jobs. Internal locus of leadership. The leader, the followers, and the situation was all driven by Steve Jobs and his inner drive for innovation and technology. Intra-individual process. The whole company, Apple, was buoyed by the process occurring within one charismatic individual who could smartly drive everyone around him in his own ways. Jadi bisa kita lihat di sini ya, ini juga beberapa poin yang dimiliki oleh job internal objective and intra-individual process. Next, personalized power orientation. The first thing Jobs would do anywhere or with anyone is to assume to power and control of the situation or discussion. And then technical and conceptualizing skills. Jobs was brilliant in technical aspect where he accepted nothing but the best and also had remarkable conceptualizing skills. It was him who conceptualized to change the whole music scene of the world where a computer could play and perform live music instead of people. Musicians, including his own girlfriend, believed that this was not possible, and this actually turned out to be true with the whole electro music revolution. So he has the personalized in technical and conceptualizing skills. He has a technical and conceptual is very good. Jadi di sini kita bisa nilai bahwa Steve Jobs ini dia memiliki skill teknisinya dan juga konsepnya ini sangat tinggi. Jadi dia ini selalu eh, belajar untuk meningkatkan soft skillnya dia ini. Weak interpersonal skill. He was not particularly good with people around him in office. He would reprimand anyone impulsively without even thinking. He would claim someone's hard work as stupidity. But the people around him had come to know the bipolarity that exists for him, according to which things are either the best or the worst. Technical and conceptualizing skills. Jobs was brilliant in technical aspect, where he accept nothing when he accept nothing, but the best and also had remarkable conceptualizing skill. It was him who conceptualized to change the whole music scan of the world, where a computer could play and perform live music instead of people. Sorry, sorry. Uh, I have a mistake. This point, technical and conceptualizing, that we have presented before in this one in the 13th slide. Okay, we can next to the next slide. Post-path goal theory, directive leader. The most important thing for Jobs was the work that would be his sole focus and point of consideration until accomplished. Achievement oriented. He would always set challenging goals for himself and his employees. He once asked his team when would be their new computers ready. They replied 1 year. Impulsively using this reality distortion field, he ended the discussion saying that they would launch it within 6 months. So we can conclude in this slide, Hotspot goal theory, directive leader. If Job is a directive leader and he have an achievement of his orient, then charismatic leadership. Job's personality and behavior made him a heroic leader with extraordinary capability. Just by his charisma, he could make people do whatever he wished to. He had a vision for each initiative he started and also took a lot of risks. After his ouster from Apple, he raised all his Apple-earned money into establishing Next Computer. He further invested a great deal in Pixar too. So, Jobs has a personality. He has a high charismatic. He can make the people is believe whatever he do. He had a vision for each initiative and he started and also took a lot of risks. He always thinking about the risk and then he always do do the best to minimize of his risk. And then the next Jobs exhibits a behavior which was extraordinary, beyond normalcy. He acts as per his impulse in a totally unconventional ways. This makes it difficult for us lot of time to categorize him with a particular leadership attribute. Jobs was always confident about his proposals and even in crisis situations. He saw a lot of failures, but he never gave up and rose to power again and again. He got all that he won finally. So, we can see about this point, charismatic leadership. If job is the people uh, who has enthusiasm and very consistent to manage her business. He always doing several strategy and he always study about his failure and never gave up and rose to power again and again and try and again and again. So this is about analysis about the leadership of Steve Jobs. I think my presentation is enough, and then I wish this is be as benefit to our. Oke, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.